Hello everybody, welcome to your week 7 videos, and this week we are looking at clocks, telling the time and solving time problems. Now this is the first video of 2, and in this first video we're going to be looking at reading analogue time and matching it to a digital clock, and also learning a rhyme to remember how many days are in each month. In the second video, we're going to be looking at solving problems to do with time. So for this section, we are looking at some of the questions which you can see on the screen now. So on page 43 of your books, you have to match up some clocks and write down the time in words that are shown on the clocks. So we'll be practicing that in a minute. We have done that a little bit at school, so hopefully you will remember, but I'll give you a refresher. And if we just have a look at this picture, these are the other types of questions we're going to be looking at today. So asking about how many seconds in a certain number of minutes, and also how many days in each month. So we will go through and do some clock practice, and also I'll teach you the rhyme for learning the days of the month at the end. So to start with, we're just going to have a little look at a clock face, and we'll just talk through how to tell the time in a basic way, just to give you a bit of a refresher, and then we'll play a game. Right, so this is an analogue clock face. So an analogue clock are the round ones, the ones that aren't on a computer or on a watch or a phone, the ones that you often see on the wall with hands going round. So on the analogue clock, we've got the numbers 1 to 12 going round in a circle. Now, learning how many hours in a day, minutes in an hour and seconds in a minute, is actually reasonably easy to remember. It's probably easier to remember than how many centimetres in a metre and millimetres in a litre, because those change from being either 100 or 1,000. But clocks are slightly more consistent. So the analogue clock you can see there shows us up to 12. Now, there aren't just 12 hours in the day, because the clock, it goes all the way around twice, because we have 12 hours in the morning and 12 hours in the afternoon. So we have 24 hours in a whole day. You won't be awake for all of those. And then in each hour, each separate hour, there are 60 minutes, not 100, there are 60. And in each separate minute, there are 60 seconds. So that's quite easy to remember. So 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, and then we've got 24 hours in a whole day. Now, as we have a look around the outside of the clock, you can see that I've put in there counting in 5s. Now, because we use this clock to tell the hours and the minutes, it has to be used for 2 different purposes. So we've got the numbers that go around the outside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and that is showing us the hours. But the clock also shows us the minutes, and for every big number that we've got there, that is actually 5 minutes, because as we've said, there's 60 minutes in an hour. And so for each of those 12 hours we've got there, there's 5 minutes. 12 times 5 is 60. So as you can see around the outside, we start from 0 at 12, and then we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then it would be 60, but actually that's when we start again, because it becomes 60 and begins at 0 all at the same time. And then we start counting again. So the clock can tell us the hours and the minutes. And when we're telling the time on an analogue clock, we've got certain language that we use. Now, you will know that when the big hand is on the 12 right at the top, it is o'clock. So 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And when it is on the 6, that is halfway round, which is a clue. So it is half past. And the clock can be divided into halves and quarters, because we've also got a quarter past by the 3, which is 15 minutes. And we've also got a quarter to, which is by the 9, which is 45 minutes of that hour. And you might notice how on the blue side of the clock, the words round the outside, it all says past, 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 past. We get to half past, and then suddenly on the yellowy side, it starts saying 2, 25 to, 22, a quarter to. And in a way, that's kind of to make it easier for us. Because instead of saying, so we have 20 past 2, but then instead of having to keep on counting and say 40 past 2, which requires more counting in fives to get round, we actually almost start from the beginning again at half past and actually start counting up towards the 12. So there's 25 minutes, if we're on the 7, to get back up to the 12, because there's fives, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And if we were on the 10, that's 10 to, because we've got 5 to get to the 11 and 10 to get to the 12. So instead of just continuing to count, we actually start counting back up again when we reach half past, which actually makes it easier, makes the numbers smaller. Now on a digital clock it is different, and the number of minutes are written exactly as the number of minutes that have passed. So a quarter to, which is 15 minutes to the next hour, it would be 45, the minutes would be written as 45, but we'll come on to digital time in a minute. What we're going to do first is play a game just to practice telling the time on the analogue clock with the words. So we have 5 past, 10 past, a quarter past, 20 past, 25 past, and half past, and then we start counting up. 25 to, 22, a quarter to, 10 to, 5 to, and then we get back to o'clock. So let's have a look at the game and we'll see how you get on. I will leave a gap, so please do call out from home the correct answer that you think it is, so that you can play along as well, and it's not just me playing a game on my lonesome. Right, so this is the game we're going to be playing. You've played this at school before, it's a good game, and I will put the link to this game in the description of the video so you can have a go at home, because there's lots of different levels and it's a really good game to play in order to practice telling time. So we are going to do number 4, read time to the nearest 5 minutes. If you want more of a challenge, please do level 5 at home. Now I've turned the sound off just because there's quite a lot of silly sounds in this game, which you can enjoy at home, but I'm going to turn them off for now. Okay, we're going to do untimed so we can talk through it. Right, so it's giving us a time, and then we need to choose from the bottom. Now remember, this is the key thing. We have here the short hour hand pointing to the hours, okay? The long one is the minutes. Okay, the word minute is longer than the word hour. That's one way of remembering it. The mighty minute hand is the longer one. Now, remember that when we're counting the minutes, if we start from 12, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, but then actually we kind of start again and start counting up to 12 again, rather than saying 30, 35, we start counting up. So if this was where we're trying to get to, the 7 is actually 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes to. So this is 22. This is a quarter to. We say that one differently because it's a quarter of the way round. This would be 10 to. Okay, 10 to the next hour. So we do want 10 minutes to. Now there's 3 options there for 10 minutes to, so we need to work out the hour. Now if you have a look at the red hand, the smaller hour hand, It's not actually on the 3 yet. It's very close, but it hasn't reached the hour of 3. So it's actually in the hour of 2 still, but we are nearly at the hour of 3. That's where we're working towards. So in 10 minutes, our minute hand will be on o'clock and we would have reached 3 o'clock. So is it 10 minutes to 4 o'clock, 10 minutes to 3, or 10 minutes to 5? It is 10 minutes to 3 because it's nearly 3 o'clock. In 10 minutes time, it will be 3 o'clock. Right, you have a go at this one on your own. Pause the video if you need some more time. I will count to 5. Right, what do you think? So remember, we've got halfway round, so we're half past what hour? 6:30. Oh, here's another one. So remember, when we get to half past, it's not 25, 30, 35 anymore, not when we're saying it in words. You're now counting up. So counting 5s to get to the o'clock. How many minutes would that be? And which hour are we working towards? Pause again. I'll count to 5. So it is 25 minutes, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes to 11. Okay, how about this one? Pause it if you need to. Right, so remember that we have half past, quarter past over here, and this is quarter to. Okay, these ones have special names. So quarter to. Quarter to which hour? We are quarter to 3. Let's have a couple more goes. Right, you should be able to do this one nice and easily. In fact, we've had this one before. I'm going to skip this one, 6:30, because we've had that one. Have a look at this one. Okay, so remember, after 6:30 we start counting to the o'clock, and this is 25 minutes to 25 minutes to 10. Okay, last one. Right, so starting from o'clock, 5, 10 past, 10 past 1. Well done. Now we're going to stop playing there, but as I said, I'll put the link under the video, and please do continue to play as much as you would like and have a go at that harder level 5 as well, which will stop you on the dots in between, which are showing you the individual minutes. Okay, so for example, instead of being on the 2 for 10 past, it might be on one of these dots in between, which might be 10 past, 11, 12 minutes past. So it's much more precise. Okay, but please do have a go at this game. It's great fun to do. Now we're going to have a look at a clock now and have a look at some digital time. Right, so we're going to have a look at this clock now, and we're going to be learning about a digital clock, which we can see in the top corner here with black with the green numbers. Now, before we look at the digital time, we're just going to go around and count through how we would say the time on an analog clock. And we're going to go all the way around. I'm going to do the first rotation, and then I'd like you to join in as I go through the next one. Okay, so just listen carefully. So we've got 4 o'clock, 5 past 4, 10 past 4, a quarter past 4, 20 past 4, 25 past 4, half past 4, 25 to 5, we're working up to 5 now, 20 to 5, a quarter to 5, we're getting closer, 10 to 5, 5 to 5, and 5 o'clock. So the things to note there, as soon as you get past half past, we start counting on to the next o'clock, which means the hour changes. And it is a bit like a mirror. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 past, and then this side we have 25 to, 22, we've got quarter to, 10 to, 5 to, so it's actually a mirror, 5 past, 5 to, 10 past, 10 to. So if you know the right hand side here, you can easily work out the left hand side. Right, you say it along with me this time. 5 past 5, 10 past 5, a quarter past 5, 20 past 5, 25 past 5, half past 5, 25 to 6, 20 to 6, a quarter to 6, 10 to 6, 5 to 6, and 6 o'clock. Now, digital time is actually a lot easier than analog time because you don't have to remember past and to and how many minutes long it is, because it tells you exactly how many minutes there are, and it's much easier, I think, to work out. So if I put the time here, this is 20 past 6. Now, if we look at the digital time, we have the hour of 6, and the hours go first because that's the most important. And then we've got the number of minutes, which is 20. If I move round to the opposite side, remember we're in a mirror, so this was 20 past, this would be 22. Now, instead of saying 20 to 7, it's actually still within the hour of 6. Okay, so on a digital clock, the hour stays the same until we get to the next one. So still in the hour of 6, and this time it's just 40 minutes past. So remember, if we're counting through 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So we just say the number of minutes that have gone by. Let me just show you that picture again. So remember, on this picture we can see around the outside 0, 0, which is where the o'clock starts, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then back to o'clock. And that's all the times you need for digital. So you just say which hour we're in and how many minutes there've been. And when you get up to the 12, a new hour will start and it'll be back to 0, 0 minutes, and you'll start again. So digital time is a lot simpler, really, in a way. Let's have a look back at that big clock again. Right, so let's have another go at practicing some of these. So if I put it round to here, we can see that we're within the hour of 7 and we are 10 minutes past. So we start from the top, 5, 10. So we count 5 on every big number. Okay, now I'm going to turn that clock off for a minute. And I want you to see if you can tell me what it would be if I was on this time here. Remember, in a digital clock, when we look at it, the hour stays the same until we actually reach the o'clock, and we're not quite there yet. So what would the digital time be? So the digital time would be 7, because we're still within the hour of 7, and it's 50. Remember, if we know half past is 30, it's a good place to count from. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So just count along. And actually, if you know that 10 lots of 5 is 50, you don't even need to count all the way around, because we know our 5 times table, and every one of these numbers is a multiple of 5. And so if you do 5 times 5, that's 25 minutes. 9 times 5 is 45, but remember, this is a special one. It would be 45 here on the digital clock, but if we were saying it out loud, we'd probably say 1:45. Let's try another one. So this would be 8:25 in the hour of 8, 25 minutes past. What would this one be? So we're still within the hour of 8. If we count from 30, or if we work out 11 times 5, we should be 8:55. And if we had one more 5-minute jump, we would get to 9 o'clock, which starts again at 00 minutes, because then they immediately start counting the minutes for the 9 o'clock hour. And you can see if I stop in between one of the numbers, we have 5 minutes where the 1 would be, but then if we tick past, it just keeps counting 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because we don't ever just see minutes in multiples of 5. Sometimes the time might be 9:23, and that means that it is past the 20 and it's 3 minutes further along, but it's not quite at 25. Right, let's play another little game. Okay, so this game looks very, very similar, and it is very, very similar, but it's just going to be testing our digital time. And this time we've got a brown bear and not a polar bear. And I will again put the link to this game underneath the video so you can have a go at home. Now again, we're going to have a go at level 5, which is reading the time to the nearest 5 minutes. But I bet a lot of you could probably have a go at level 5. We're going to do level 4, and you could try level 5 at home. Right, level 4. We're going to do untimed, and we're going to stick to 12-hour clock for now, and we'll talk more about 24-hour clock another time. Right, so it's going to give us a time, and we need to pick the digital time. Okay, so we'll do this one together. Now, it's very, very nearly the hour hand, the little hour hand is very nearly on the 10, but it's not 10 o'clock yet. We are not there yet. So we're still in the hour of 9. Okay, and there's 2 options here. We're still in the hour of 9 because it's not quite at 10. But how many minutes is that? What is 10 times 5? Minute hand, the mighty minute hand is on the 10. 10 times 5 is 50. Let's check that from the 12. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So it is 9:50, nearly 10 o'clock, but not quite. Now you have a go at this one. Pause if you need to, and I'll count to 5. Right, so think about the hour that we're in and think about how many minutes have passed. Now, some of you might be thinking it's this one, 1:06. But remember, 06 is telling us how many minutes. And this big 6 is telling us the hour. And that's not how many minutes, because we count the minutes in 5. So in fact, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes have gone by, because it's half past. It's half of the hour. So it should be 1:30. Have a go at this one. Right, so we're in the hour of 4. How many minutes past are we? 5 5s. Count round from here. It should be 4:25. Well done. Try this one. Okay, so we're in the hour of 8. And how many minutes past? not 2, 5, 10 past. So 8, 10. Let's do one more. Oh, we've done that one, haven't we? We've definitely done that one. I'm skipping it. One more. Here we go. Right, so we're in the hour of 5. And how many minutes past are we? 5 times 5? 25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 past 5. So 5:25. Well done. Now do please continue to have a go at this game at home, because it's a really good way to practice, because you'll be able to get lots of goes in, more than we have time to play on the video. So it'll be a really good way to continue your digital time and your analog time practice. So please do spend some time doing that. It's really worthwhile. Right, we're going to have a little look now at the rhyme to remember how many months, how many days in each month. Now it's really useful to know how many days are in each month, and you can use your knuckles to help you work out how many days in each month. And I can't show you that right now, but I'll teach you this rhyme first and then show you how that could work with knuckles. So this is the rhyme. Some days, you might have noticed, some months, sorry, have 30 days in them. And some months have 31. And there is one month that's different to all the others, which is February, which is much shorter, which only has 28 days. Now there's something called a leap year, which happens every 4 years. And that's when February has one more day in, has 29. It's all to do with how many days it takes for the Earth to go around the sun, which actually isn't a complete number of days, it's like a quarter of a day. So every 4 years we need to try and make up the time by adding a whole day on. So 28 days in February normally, but 29 in a leap year, which means in a leap year the number of days in a year is one more as well. But we'll talk about working out the number of days in a year once we've had a look at this rhyme. So the rhyme is: 30 days have September, April, June and November. All the rest have 31, except February alone, which has but 28 days clear and 29 in each leap year. Now we're going to see if we can learn a little bit of this. I'm going to try and teach you a little bit of it now, and then your challenge is to see if you can learn it off by heart at home this week. Maybe you could send me a video or a voice recording of you saying it from memory. So let's have a look and see if we can start remembering some of this ourselves. Right, so we've got the rhyme. Let's say it one more time. 30 days have September, April, June and November. All the rest have 31, except February alone, which has but 28 days clear and 29 in each leap year. Now there's some key rhyming words in there that help us. September and November, and clear and year. They're kind of the words that stand out the most. So let's have a look at the top part. 30 days have September, April, June and November. So September and November. Okay, September and November. So let's see if you can remember that bit. Say it with me. 30 days have September, April, June and November. Good. So remember, 30 goes first. Let's try it now. 30 days have September, April, June and November. Well done. So we've got November and we've got 30. Let's take out another word. Ready? Just the top bit. 30 days have September, April, June and November. Well done. 30 days have September, April, June and November. Let's have a look at the bottom bit and then we can do it all together. All the rest have 31 except February alone, which has but 28 days clear and 29 in each leap year. So 31 is the other key number to remember here. 28, 29, and remembering that February is different, funny February. So 30 days have September, April, June and November. All the rest have 31 except February alone. Okay, let's see if we can do that bit. So 31 is the other number we need to remember. So let's do it up to alone. Okay, 30 days have September, April, June and November. All the rest have 31 except February alone. And we'll go on in a minute. So let's take out one more word. Ooh, that's a long box. Right, let's see if we can do it up to this point again. Okay, 30 days have September, April, June and November. All the rest have 31 except February alone. Well done. Okay, so let's now carry on and see if we can do some of these bits down here as well. So all the rest have 31 except February alone, which has but 28 days clear and 29 in each leap year. So clear and year rhyme. Okay, so 28 days clear and 29 in each leap year. Let's cover that back up, shall we? Right, let's go from all the rest. All the rest have 31 except February alone, which has but 28 days clear and 29 in each leap year. That's right. I think we could probably cover up this number here as well. Right, let's do from all and then we'll see if we can do it from the top. All the rest have 31 except February alone, which has but 28 days clear and 29 in each leap year. That's right. Okay, I'm going to cover up one more number, which is the 29, and then we're going to do it from the top, because the 29 is just one more than the 28. So if we can remember the 28, we can remember the 29. So from the top, everybody, are we ready? 30 days have September, April, June and November. All the rest have 31 except February alone, which has but 28 days clear and 29 in each leap year. Well done. So you can keep learning that at home. You can pause the video so you can see the poem on the screen and see if you can remember it. I'm just going to take them off for a minute. So you can use that rhyme to help you answer questions in your book that say, how many days are in September? When you can think, well, 30 days have September. Oh, that was quick. So 30 days. Or if it said, how many days has March got? Now, March isn't in our rhyme. So that must mean it's one of all the rest. All the rest have 31. So March has 31. What about May? Now, May is not in our rhyme either, so that must also be all the rest. All the rest is including May. What about the number of days in February in a leap year? How many is that? 29. That's right. So you can use that to help you. Now, I'll quickly show you the knuckle technique, just so that you can see. I used to use it at school. I think this rhyme is better, to be honest, but I will show you anyway. Now, in order to prove that the knuckle technique works, we're just going to go through the number of days in each month. Now, I wonder if you can work out what I've written down on my piece of paper. It's a secret code. Of course, it's the days, it's the months. It's the months of the year. I've just written the first letter. So we've got January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November and December. So let's just write next to it how many days are in each month. And let's use our rhyme. See, I'll say it to you as we go along. 30 days have September, April, June and November. So that means that 30 days has September, April, June, May, June, July and November. And then it says all the rest have 31 except February alone. So all the rest have 31 except February. I'm going to leave that one. Which has 28 days clear or 29 in each leap year. Now can you see a little bit of a pattern here? Now, not completely, but it almost goes alternately from 31, 30, 31, 30, 31, then there's another 31, 30, 31, 31, 30. Now, the knuckle technique, let me show you. So, we start here on my left side, my left hand, and you say the months on a knuckle and then in a space. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay. Now you can also do it if you hold your knuckles next to each other and start from this end. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay, whichever way it works. It's kind of difficult to show on both hands. Now, if the month is on a knuckle, that means it's got 31 days. If the month is in a dip between your knuckles, it means it has 30. But of course, in the case of February, it doesn't have 30, it's special, it has 28, but it's still a lower amount. Okay, so we have to keep February in our mind because it doesn't work quite for that one. But if you are on a knuckle, the month is on a high knuckle, then it is 31 days, and if it's in a dip, it is 30 days. So let's check that. So January on a knuckle, 31. February in a dip, 28, it's a special one, ignore that one. March, big knuckle, 31. April in a dip, 30. May on a knuckle, 31. June in a dip, 30. July, big knuckle, 31. August, big knuckle, 31. September in a dip, 30. October, 31 days on a knuckle. November in a dip is 30 and December on a knuckle is 31. Then don't continue because otherwise it will go wrong. You only need to go to December. Okay, so that is the knuckle technique. You just count along the months, and if it's on a knuckle it's got 31. If it's in a dip it has 30, apart from February, which is special. Now, one of the questions in your book asked about the number of days in a year. Now, you might know the number of days in a year, and actually it's one of those things that it's really good that you know and you really should learn. Just like you need to learn how many centimetres in a metre and things like that. Now, if you don't know, you could, easy option, ask your parents. But I would be much more impressed if you worked it out another way by adding up all of the days in the month. Tricky, but I bet you could do it. If you did this in one big long column method, I reckon you could do it. Adding up the units, 1, 8, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, not that tricky. adding up 3 tens, 2 tens, 3 tens, 3 tens, 3 tens, 3 tens, 3 tens, lots of 3 tens. I reckon you could definitely do that and work out how many days in the year. And if you work it out, send me an email. Tell me that you've worked it out and I'll tell you if you're right. And I think also in your book, or actually no, it doesn't ask you how many days in a leap year, but it asks you how many days in February in a leap year. But of course, the number of days in a year is the same most of the time, but in a leap year, the number of days in the whole year will be one more, because of course we've got 29, not 28, so you have to add one more on. So I'll be really impressed, first of all, if I have any videos or recordings of the poem, The 30 Days Have September, with you remembering it. I'll be so impressed. And I'll also be so impressed if you can send me a message and tell me how many days in a year and how many days in a leap year, if you worked it out yourself and didn't just ask your parents for the answer. Okay, so that is your challenge. Now in the next video we're going to look at some problem solving with time, which covers page 44 of your books, but this was just a bit of a warm-up. So I hope it was helpful. I'll put the links to those games underneath the video so you can play those and practice some more. I definitely recommend it. It will be a really good use of your time. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.